Nice. I'm hanging up. Man, I love that song.
watch you leave. Ba-da-da-da. I'm not afraid to say goodbye, and I'm not afraid to set you free. It's 1 in the morning and I'm trying to ignore it, but this problem isn't gone away.
Hello, this is Jay Blue back with another episode of The Stacks. It's been quite some time. Sorry for the delay because of the long period between my last episode and this one. There was a lot more technical difficulty. I think I got the music to work properly now. So I'm trying to figure out something with the video. But besides that, yeah, I got the audio mix up. So that's one thing that's working now. So it's, I would say, good to see you all, except for don't really see anyone. And it's just me today. My partner has summer plans. Hopefully I could get her on later shows, but she also, I believe, got an internship on campus. So that's going to be taking up quite a bit of her time. But I'm proud of her, and she's getting to focus on what she wants to do. And she's just working, getting experience. There's a possibility I get some of my other friends. If you remember, Nikki and Nana, they were in one episode where we were talking about New Year's resolutions. So you might see them make some, is it the word guest star or cameo? I think it's guest star. They'll probably show up in future episodes this summer. And talk about summer. It is summer. Yes, last time you saw me was, I believe, winter. Well, it's not, it's spring currently. It is spring, but colleges let out for summer break. Well, let me give you an explanation for why I was so gone so long. First was I was having difficulties with my previous laptop. I have a history of having difficulty with laptops. I keep getting them from the same place, and they didn't quite work as well. Like my first laptop, I think blue screened about a week into it. I had it for less than a week, and it blue screened, and then it gave me a year of problems. And then the second one, I think just blue screened the day of. And then the third one, keys and things stopped working. I think my fourth one drowned my first week of college. That because it was a flash storm. And the one after that, yeah, something's up with the video. The video is streaming. I'm just not in it. I'm invisible. It's been revealed I am a vampire because the video's there. I'm just not in the video. No, my whole entire background is there and everything. It's not me though. I'm invisible. So yeah, so like my fourth one drowned first week. So then this is like the beginning of college. So I think this is my third or fourth laptop my third laptop for college, I believe. The second one I think was the one I was doing the show on, and just spontaneously started. Some of the keys stopped working. There was some phantom typing. I would turn my laptop on and I'd see it would start typing by itself. I was pretty sure my laptop was haunted. It also has some jack problems. Like I couldn't hear sound coming out of it for a while. So I just brought it back to the people, and they were like, I thought they were going to just let me get a new laptop. No, like we had to hold it for a week. So that laptop was gone, and then while they were repairing my laptop, I went to Spain. And I spent 2 weeks in Spain, in Madrid, for a volunteer program, IVHQ. I worked on a farm for 2 weeks. And I love hands-on activities, so when I was on the farm, I got to work with 3 great guys. They were part of a program that brought immigrants in from different countries in Africa, and they trained them in labor so that they can not only learn a skill, but they also get to sell the produce that they grew. So it gives them skills and allows them to make a profit, so they can actually build a life for themselves in a new country. So, and they get to practice. They learn Spanish, and so it was a great program that I got to work with them for 2 weeks. And 3 of those 3 them, and they didn't really speak. One was learning English, but the other 2 didn't really speak it. So it was a great chance to practice my Spanish speaking skills, because that was the only way I could communicate with them to find out what I need to do. And also they had a lot of questions. The top one had a lot of questions about our president, and it's very interesting trying to explain our political climate in a language that's not your first language, or one that you're not the most proficient in. But it was very interesting. I didn't really get much of a culture shock when I was in Madrid. When I got there, it reminded me of the city. I think it was just like seeing the people walk around really quickly, cars driving. The language was a big thing. Like clearly I did not hear English around me, but it wasn't too drastic from what I've seen before, so that allowed me to adjust really quickly. So that explains 2 weeks of why I was gone. I stayed in a house with other students, other people my age who were volunteering, and then eventually got back, and I was like, I can start my radio show, but nope, I didn't have a laptop, because they're like, we can't fix your laptop. Then they were saying, do you want to buy another one here? And they gave us because they don't really give you your money back. They don't refund you. They put it on a gift card so you can buy from them again, which I had done 3 times prior. So I decided I'm just done buying things from them. So I had to go a while without a laptop, as because school, the second semester started again for that year, and I just couldn't afford to get a new laptop at the time. I didn't have time to get a laptop first, and then I just couldn't afford to get one, so that was a bit of a break trying to get one. And have you ever tried being at college without a laptop? It makes everything so much harder, because you still have all your assignments you need to do. You need to study, do your essays, projects, assignments, everything, and all your homework is given to you online. So the fact that you constantly have to depend on the hours that computer labs are open, and computer labs are scattered across campus, so you might get to one, it's full, or like the print, you have to wait. And so I was having to sit for hours in a computer lab to do my work. Or if I could, I can try to do some things on my phone. Then eventually I was able to get a laptop. I had to make a deal with my sister for that, because she helped fund part of it. So I got this new laptop right here. And it's a really nice laptop. It's really good. I love it. It'll allow me to do more work on digital art, because I started learning digital art on my phone, and I wanted to see if I can use like Photoshop and Illustrator. So I got a touchscreen one, because it would make it easier to draw on it. And it has a great RAM, and it's a solid state drive, so it's been treating me right. The only issue I have with it right now is just it won't connect to my school printers, but I figured out how to print from it, so it's a fabulous laptop. So then, now that I have this laptop, I had no excuse for not starting the radio show again, except for, it's like, do you ever know when you're doing something, you get really into it, but then if you take one break or something makes you stop for a while, it's really hard to pick it up again? That's kind of what happened, and it lasted for quite some time. But eventually, I just finished up my semester, and then I went into a month of recovery, because after college ends, you just have to, because after finals, college is expedited learning. Like, they just take a bunch of information and try to get you to learn it in 14 weeks. And it's not every day 14 weeks. It's like 2 or 3 days a week 14 weeks. So you get about 28 to, when you try to do math, 28 to 42, is it? Yes. No, it's not actually. I take that back. Because 14 weeks twice 20. Yeah, it's about 28 to 42 lessons per subject. So then just try to get that, and then you have finals, where my university doesn't really, some universities give you a week of studying. Right as school ends, finals starts within 4 or 5 days. So, because we end on a Friday, and then we have reading day for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then finals start Tuesday. And I had my final right on Tuesday, and I had the next one a week right after it. So after having to spend hours per day daily studying, when you get home, you don't even have time to unpack. You just throw things in your room, and I got back, because it took me a very long time to pack. I started, before I left my campus, I started packing, I think at 6 p.m. the day prior, and I finally finished packing, I think at 5 or 6 a.m. No, I think it was like 7 a.m. That was my first all-nighter. I have not taken a single all-nighter the entire semester. Actually, the entire year. And my first all-nighter was me trying to pack so I can leave. So, and I was like, I'm already awake. Let's get breakfast. Let me play the piano until my parents come. Right after, I just put my stuff in my room, and then I just passed out and slept until I think 8 or 9 p.m. So this was just recovery. I got to work on some of my writing. I just picked up drawing again, which I haven't managed. But I did keep some of my New Year's resolutions. So if you recall, I didn't get to keep all of them, but I did. There's a few I focused on, like the drawing at least 2 times a week. I did that for the entire semester. I slacked off slightly for the past month because it was finals and then recovery, but I picked it up again yesterday. I also started working on my ASL, which I said I was hosting meetups on campus, and I managed to get one faithful person to keep coming. But I'm gonna advertise it earlier so we can get more people, get some freshmen in there, because I think it's a great skill to learn. And I got to practice, and I know at least 200. I know about 200 signs now, and I just understand a bit if it's signing me. My finger spelling ability to pick up that is a bit iffy, but I'm working on it. One of my New Year's resolutions was to finish a full story. I started a new story. I was when I said that, I was like, I'm gonna take one of my old stories and I'm really just gonna finish it. No, I was like, no, let me start a new story. Get the fresh page, get straight off fresh. It's a story I wanted to do for a while, but I started it, and until this week, I've managed to write daily. I slacked up a bit, but I did manage to get some words in last night, and I want to finish it. I think I hit 64 pages already, and I'm nowhere near any, like, it's still the beginning of the story, and I'm making my friend read it, which she gets tired every time I make her read my stuff. So of course I'm like, but she has the best reaction, so I'm like, read it here. And last time she read it, it was about 20 pages. I was like, you've been gone for a few weeks. It's now 64. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna sit there and make her read it. But it's just so I can get feedback, and also you pick stuff up, because you can read things out loud, but you tend to pick up mistakes when other people are reading it. So I like to use her as an editor and get to ask some feedback and improve it. But yes, 64 pages in, and it's nowhere even near the middle of the story. It barely got 1/4 of the way through the story, but I'm working on that. Hopefully I will finish it, the entire story. I want to write it all, get it done with before the year is over. What else was my New Year's resolutions? Didn't work on my languages. I got to do Spanish, which was like, I think it was just working on my languages. I went to Spain for 2 weeks, so I get to work on that. I don't remember those were the most prominent ones I had, and those are the ones I really focused on. What was it? It is oh yeah, I'm supposed to read three fictional books. No, 3 non-fiction books. I gotta work on that. I got a bunch of non-fiction books. I got more. I tend to collect books, and my parents are like getting frustrated. They're just get over with it, because we don't have enough space for the books. Like, our bookshelf is full, but if I see a free book and I'm interested, I will take it. So I have an entire 4-stack book thing in the corner that's not on a shelf. I think my parents are just leaving it there until I get my own place and take them all out of there, so they don't have to deal with it anymore. But 4 large stacks of books that have no place to go. But I'm started my book collection now. When I move out, I'm gonna buy, like, one of the first things I'm buying is a bookshelf, and I'm just gonna fill it, because I love books, and I've always wanted my own bookshelf. I have a whole setup of like what my future place when I live, and like I have this office area, and like 2 of the walls are just gonna be comprised of bookshelves, 2 or 3. And then my friend and I just always ask, if we get the desk, if we get an office, our dream just get a really nice, sturdy mahogany desk. I think you may have heard Shaylessa and I talk about that, but we just have this thing about that mahogany, sturdy, large desk. It's just, I feel like that's just proof that you made it. But yeah, so even though I did slack off on the show, I still was productive in other ways. But hopefully I could pick this back up again and really get this going. And I think that's kind of just catching up. And after, I'm going to take a short break. And then I'm just going to talk about things you can... Well, there's no real set topic for this episode, but I'm going to talk about things I'm doing, things you can do too. Because I always say it's good to, outside your studies, to do more things, things that either interest you, because I think you have a limited amount of time, especially if you're in high school, in college. This is your time to do the things that interest you, because when you enter the workforce, it's going to be harder, and they're not all going to be as accessible as they are. So things you can do that just interest you, or things that could teach you skills or things you want to improve in. So I'm just gonna transition into some music right now, see if I can still do this smoothly.
us. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers, be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name, 'cause you burn with God's flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong hanging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can win the war. You can talk to God, go band on the ball. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. Some will call it practice, some will call it luck. But either way you go through the history books. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Hello, And I am back. I allowed to say take a break. It's just consists of me dancing to the music. So that was fun. I really like this song. And as I forgot to say before the break, you can always call into the show from 2 to 3. You can call in at 917-408-3653. As you guys remember, if you had listened before, it was a great accomplishment when I finally memorized that number. But it's been a while, so I no longer remember the number. I'm memorizing it right now. Let's try it again. I'm not going to look. You can call in at 917-408-3653. Yes, that was correct. 917-408-3653. Call in, talk, questions, anything. But I had an idea when I got here. Oh, yes. So, things you can do. I personally, as you guys know, I was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. This semester, I mainly focused on my fencing and my ballroom. Because I couldn't have time to, my schedule prevented me from doing some of my other clubs, but these two were allowed, so I was like, I'm going to focus all my energy on that. As you know, in fencing, I'm a saberist, and I went to fencing on Sundays and Fridays for about 2 or 3 hours each. And ballroom, I actually did on Tuesdays and Thursdays for varying from 1.5 to 3 hours. And I also did a smaller group lesson with like 4 of us on Fridays for an hour. So I really know how to swing now, ish. I can swing if I have a very good lead. Because on my own or with someone who's just as unsure as me, it's just chaos by that point. But it was fun to focus on that. That was my way of staying active. Second college ended, I was like, yeah, I have nothing to get me to exercise. But so I kind of was just laying on the couch for weeks on end. But I started exercising again yesterday. I woke up this morning. I woke up, had about 20 ounces of water, came up here, did a 10-minute high-intensity interval training cardio workout from hell. That was exactly the name of it. And then I did some exercise to improve my posture because I've learned to have good posture on my own years ago. I remember the day I started having good posture was the day I was in church and my mom just grabbed my shoulders and just like, ugh. And then since that day, I've been holding my posture, but even though I know how to hold it, I don't have the muscle groups to support it. So often I'll have back pain because I'm holding it up with nothing to support me. So I was like, it's time to actually get some back muscles to do it, so I don't have to concentrate on it all the time. So that's how I'm trying to use this summer productively. Oh my gosh, I had a dream last night. It was just a dream. Okay, I had a dream last night that I was convinced actually happened. So I just realized just now that it was actually a dream. So the possibility is I might get that job. But anyways. Things I recently started. I became a content creator, a content writer for online magazine for college students. So that's a weekly commitment I have to do. I have to submit articles every Wednesday by noon. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I get to write. Oh, I forgot. I just not realize how much work it is. You get to think of things every week. And I'm still a huge procrastinator. It's something I'm slowly working on. So I tend to write it at either the night before. My night, I mean past midnight, which is technically just the morning of, or right like an hour or two before it's due. But I've only ever had to ask for extension twice. First time I couldn't do it in time, but I got it 1 hour later. The second time was on my way because I was coming from college back home. And I was like, the second I get home, I'm number one, I'm going to be driving when it's due. And I'm just going to pass it for hours. I told him, like, I'm just going to be unconscious. So can I submit this later? But it's allowed me to kind of get my voice and thoughts out there. I'm using it as a platform. I'm using it for a platform for some of my poetry, which I kind of feel like the poetry is just when I have no ideas and I just put like, here's a poem I wrote here. Don't really, I think I have like actually 1 or 2 decent poems out there. I was like, here's just some poems I wrote. But I have written on various topics. I've done things of what's it like to be. And one was questions I have for God. That I kind of just wanna. I always say I'm just gonna make a notebook of questions, and when I get to heaven, I'm just gonna go up to God. I'm like, it'd be fun. Like, here are the questions I had while I was on Earth. Can I just get in? I don't matter. Like the second I get there, suddenly everything makes sense, and I'm not gonna know all the answers, or I'm just gonna personally talk to someone. I don't know who. I might just get straight to God or talk to one of the angels. Like, let me just clarify. I'm an anthropology major, and that's a lot of stuff. And I'm a biological anthropology major, which is another word for evolutionary. And yes, I do believe evolution is real because things do change, and there are creatures that died a long time ago, and there are creatures that are related to older creatures that they don't look the same anymore, and that's evolution. Evolution is just changes over time caused by influences and things that happen that affect the species and their environment. There's a more official word for evolution, definition for evolution, which is just escaping my mind. But yes, chickens and birds are related to dinosaurs. They came from dinosaurs. That's evolution. If you look at a chicken and then you look at a dinosaur, they don't look alike anymore. But they are related. But there are other things in anthropology. I'm like, I'm gonna learn it. I can put on my exams, and I acknowledge that there is things right there. I'm like, I can't use. You don't even know why they're there. So I'm just gonna accept all your theories. Like, there's just possibilities of things like that. I'm just gonna wait. It's just not going to affect the way I go about my job, whichever job that may be, what I do with my anthropology major. But, so I feel like that was just like, the article was questions to God. I was like, yeah, can you explain some of these things? Also, like, why'd you make me the way I am? Think that, because just like, there's a lot of complexities in me that just contradict that and cause some difficulty. But then I had another one, was a poem called On Blind Faith, which was just like how faith is not the blind and way people think. That it's not just we accept everything, because we question. A lot of us question. And I got to do one like things I don't know, which is like it was just a full article admitting that I have actually no idea. I don't know a lot of things. And I was like, I did find it as a great chance to be vulnerable and to like really get your thoughts down. I wrote a short article on, because I've done so much research recently. That was a slur. I slurred that word. I did some research recently. So much research, actually, that I can recite so much on top of my head. I wrote the entire article. It was about 4 to 5 pages. It took me 3 hours to write. It was on asexuality, and I literally just I just sat there and just wrote this entire article right off the top of my head. It was an interesting topic, and I was like, I think awareness should be raised for asexuality. So I was like, I'm just gonna write this article here and just like, sent it out there. Another one was just blanking now. Whoa, what did I just... Oh, yeah, I wrote a defense on fan fiction, which was fun. I feel like fan fiction gets such a bad rap. Fan fiction is a great... It's writing. It should be considered fiction, because it should consider writing, because a lot of... there's a lot of bad fan fiction out there, but you have those really good gems of people who put a lot of work and effort. I've seen some fan fiction that just, like, blew me out of the water. I'm like, the amount of research the person must have put in it, and the development, I'm like, it's fan fiction is literally, you just take work that may originate for someone else and you do whatever you want with it. You can just take the world and make your own characters and play in it, or you can take characters, and I think it's a great way to work in characterization and plot building. I think it's a great start for people who wanna figure out how to write. Also, even when you're writing your own original works, there's a lot of authors who have their own work who still write fan fiction too. And I'm working on my own original pieces every once in a while. I have not finished any completed ones, but actually, besides short stories. But the reason I'm a writer and I can do poetry and short stories is because I started out as a fan fiction writer. I still am a fan fiction writer. I'm not going to tell you what my fan fiction name is, because I'm going to separate those two. Not that I'm ashamed. Actually, I have to say the first few stories on there, I'm going to one day go back and just rewrite some of them, because I was really excited about it. But I also did not know how to. My grammar wasn't the best at the time. Did not know how to do a plot. Did not know how to do characterization well. My first story is so bad, and the saddest thing is, it's one of my most popular. Like, my first few stories are my most popular ones, and they're so bad, and I don't understand. Every time I see someone favorite it or leave a comment or like try to follow the story, I'm like, you need better standards in writing. I feel bad for the person who favorited my story. I'm like, the fact that you're reading it and you actually think it's good, I would like to give you a reading list to improve and to give you better fiction, because this is not it. It's been years since I ever even touched some of those stories, and I'm still getting people just randomly, like, out of the blue, like, and like, how did you even find it? It should have been buried far below a long time ago. But yes, I get to. So that was a defense of fan fiction, actuality. What else? It's kind of like that. It's kind of when I don't have idea. I have a few ideas of things I want to do that eventually I'm going to take that on. And there's a few other projects outside that I have taken on and I've slacked off on. Like, I went on one of my apps. I was like, give me stuff people have said, and I'll write arguments for you to give to them. I have not done that yet. I will eventually, because I've done a lot of research. I just haven't formulated arguments yet. But I do like arguing. I like debating. So I was like, I can write you formal arguments to present to your friends and family to explain yourself, because they're like, no, this is not real. Yeah, I'm talking about asexuality again. But so, like, content writing, it allows me to, it's supposed to be teaching me responsibility. I've managed to write weekly, so that's that. I want to start working on writing them earlier so I don't have to stress out about them before then. But better place. There's background. Gotta change. So that was one thing that. So I'm just saying, if you can look out, and also I have a radio show, and that's teaching me, well, that's forcing me to actually speak. I have always been rather eloquent, which was funny because it took me so long to talk when I was younger. But since then, I've been better orating, and I have a rather projecting voice. But if you're not speaking to anyone, you slack off. So this is forcing me. I'm not making eye contact with anything, but it's supposed to, as scenes not clearly work. If it's to give me something to commit to. I did disappear for about 2 or 3 months. But I'm back, and hopefully I can do this weekly, and I get to work on it, and just another way of getting my voice out, like my content writing. So I can't give you like any specifics, because I already did things like find my clothes, but look for opportunities around you, because you have things in your environment that you can seek out, but also, I'm playing with stuff, I'm fiddling. But there are also a lot of opportunities online that you can just look into. Like I'm learning languages because I already said through Duolingo, that's things I'm working on. I got myself an instrument, my ukulele. I started relearning the piano again. I was doing it the week before I left campus, and I'm trying to see if I can keep practicing the piano at church, because I just really started figuring out how to do 2 hands again. And I was like, as all things, when I want to learn a new skill, I just used Undertale for some reason. When I was learning to draw and still work on my drawing, I just draw things from Undertale. I'm playing the piano. I'm playing music from Undertale. I was working on Megalovania, and I just managed to get the first page. There's about 3 or 4 more sheet music pages. It just got the first page. I was like, oh, this is difficult. I got this. I'm cool. Flip the page over. Never mind. I can't do this. Just walked out. But yeah, it took me quite a few days to finally get the first page through, because it's just relearning it. Remember how to recognize the notes where they're supposed to be, how to move your hand quickly enough, how to play things at the same time. But piano's really good for your brain, because like most instruments light up so many parts of your brain. There's so many benefits, but piano's really good because it requires, like, so a lot of instruments require both your hands, but they do it in disproportionate amount of ways. Pianos, both your hands have to equally be able to touch keys, move from different places, and you have to be able to think ahead and know get your hands to the next part of the keyboard. So throw the hands up here, but so I was working on that, and I still have my ukulele, which if I'm not playing a piano, I should really start playing my ukulele again, because I know about 4 songs on it. And writing. Oh, and as for the case, ESL is. I was talking about how I was learning ESL. It is very interesting. I didn't realize how many benefits. When you learn a language, that's very good. But I feel like ESL brings in so many different things. It's not only are you working your language skills, which whatever part, I know what part of the brain works with language. I just can't say it right now. But I think it's also, it combines motor skills and there are visual aspects, because most languages you just have to be able to speak it and understand it when it comes into your auditorily recognize sounds you're hearing and be able to speak it. ASL is you have to know your hands have to know how to do things really quickly as you process what you want to say. You have to be able to recognize visually what other people are saying to you. So not only is it a language in your head, it's a language, but also it involves a lot of it's kinesthetic and it's also visual. So I feel like it challenges parts of you that other languages might not. So there are many different sign languages. I'm doing American Sign Language, but you have British Sign Language, French Sign Language, and American Sign Language are actually very similar to each other. I think the American Sign Language is based off the French one. So I'm just saying that there's a lot to do, especially if you're going on break. I know in high school you guys are finishing up your finals right now. If you're in New York, it's your regents, and in other states it's your finals. So you're finishing in college, you're out by this point. So some of you get summer jobs, and I'm trying to see if I can get a summer job. So you can get your summer jobs. You can also just like this is a good time to catch up with some friends that you didn't attend university with. So I'm really trying to get hang out with my friends soon. You got to do some reading. It's just a great time to focus on skills or to learn new skills. Like focus on building skills you've had that you haven't had time to dedicate time to, or start new ones, learn new ones. Just go out. I should be taking my advice myself, but step out of your house. Like, number one, you can do a lot in your house. So just internet offers so many things to do. Like, I want to see if I can learn a bit of coding or chess. There's a chess academy that I want to work on. And that also, internet's where I get my language skills. Is where I get to sheet music for my instrument. So internet and your computer, even not just an internet, but you can do your devices can do so much. So if you're just laying on your couch watching TV, like there's nothing to do, just go online. Not Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat. Is that all of them? There's a lot more social medias, but like just go on Google and search in 10 skills everyone should know, or how to make yourself smarter, and they just give you so many different things that you can just, because like a lot of the ones like how to be smart is really just expanding your horizons and learning skills that just work in parts of your brain. So like it's less of like making you actually smart. Some of them do improve, like some things have proven to increase your IQ. but also just helps you process information differently, or it just makes you more knowledgeable, which is, our knowledge is often a great measurement of our intelligence. Because like if you can this idea of like, are you born with your intelligence? I think you can improve your natural intelligence, but also you can learn a lot. And the more you learn, the more you know about the world around you, which it affects all parts of your life. It changes your decisions, who you talk to, things you talk about, and how you respond to circumstances. So I'm just saying, and outside your house, just what's in your neighborhood. My neighborhood just got like a escape room, which I find fascinating. I want to try it. But then there's also a gamer club just open. I ran into a friend. I was like, did you hear about that new gamer club? I was like, no, I've not. He's like, $10, it's down the block. I was like, okay, I'll look into it. And my library offers a lot of things. My library has, especially during the summer, it's gonna have, I hope they have Random Fandom again, but you just have like gamers night. They offer computer, if you want to learn how to use a computer, different ways, different applications that are on it, video editing, cooking lessons every week. I love doing the cooking lessons. It's for teenagers, but they know me, so they're like, I will let her in. I'm 20, but I'm that 20-year-old, like technically slightly too old for some teen things, but like, we know her, let's let her in. So I'm taking advantage of that as long as possible, because I like the adult parts of the library. It's not as fun. The teen offers so much, and I want to take full advantage of them. So like, even though I'm getting older, I'm still like young at heart. But no, mainly it's just I like what they offer for teenagers. Like I'm too old for the book competition. I'm like so glad I missed it by 2 years. I'm 2 years over it now. So sad. I have like books over there, like signed books that I won from the book competition, because there was a time in my life where I remember it was the summer before I went to 7th grade. I read 77 books that summer. And I remember that vividly because when I showed up, they were like, she read 77 books, and they like introduced me to, I wasn't even not registered in the school yet. That's when I just moved. And they introduced me to the librarian. I got to hang out in the library for the entire day before I even started school. And then I just started living in the library. I just go there anytime I had free time. So I'm just saying, look for what's around you and really take these opportunities. I sound like every self-help guide and stuff, but it works. It's good. It's fun. It gives you, because I feel like I'm already tired. I spent like my first few weeks. Okay, my first few weeks was literally me just rewatching every single movie in the Marvel. Most of the movies in the Marvel universe. I think I worked my way through all the Thor movies, and then I worked my way through all the Avenger movies, and then I'm trying to watch some Captain America movies as well. I have not watched because I just watched Infinity War, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But I just wanted to, I watched Infinity Wars, and then I was like, maybe just rewatch some old Marvel movies, because after I realized like when you watch later movies like Infinity Wars or any movie, it gives you a different perspective, that when you look at old movies, you see hints that were there. It's like, oh, that's what they meant when they did this, or I did not realize this aspect of it. It's like when you watch Thor Ragnarok, there are things in Thor Ragnarok that when you watch the first Thor movie, it's like, is that why Odin did what he did? So it's nice to be able to reflect. And I refuse to, and I'm not going to spoil anything about Infinity Wars at all, because if you go on YouTube or anything, like, this happened in Infinity Wars and I'm devastated, and I was like, I found out things about Infinity Wars before I got to watch. I was like, why would you do this to me, and I hate you. But no, I didn't hate them. But I watched my stuff. I was like, I'm going to let everyone else go through the same thing I did. I'm not going to give them any forewarning. You go there, you experience, you come out changed. And no, joking. But it was a good movie, though, I have to admit it. Thanos. But I'm going to get right off. Nope. Stop talking about Infinity Wars. But yeah, so I just watched movies. And then just got really bored. I watched Supergirl. I caught up on Supergirl. I started catching up on Flash. Not finished it. I really need to catch up on Doctor Who, but like, you can watch TV shows and movies all you want, but eventually you just get bored. So I started writing a bit more, and it's just, I get really excited now. Like, I have all these ideas, things I want to write down, because as I walk down the street or I'm trying to go to bed, dialogue or like ideas for I can put a story just pop in my head. I'm like, this is inconveniently timed, and I'm like, I need to like get these things down, but there are things I want to do that I can't do them yet until I get through what is left. But I'm just saying, step out, take this as an opportunity to just add to yourself, because when you learn something, you're adding to your character, you're adding to what you can offer others, your marketability, because in this current day and age, your marketability is very important. I'm like, it's good, but just the idea of somebody in your college, like, what can you offer them for them to want you? I'm like, can I just get this? Can my pure passion and interest be good enough? And you're in high school, they're like, what do you want to be? You have to have your whole entire life planned out before you're not even yourself yet. You have not fully become who you're going to be for your life. You're always going to change. And you don't know what's all that's out there. And they're like, you must know who you're going to be. Are you going to be a doctor, a lawyer? And I'm like, I'm going through my identity. I'm going through my crisis. Every semester, I always have a crisis. This is the longest lasting one, though. Because I'm like, I don't know what I want to be. I'm always like, I want to be a forensic anthropologist. And I'm like, do I really want to be a forensic anthropologist? Because I've taken a lot of STEM courses. And I'm like, you know what? Science, it's not quite it's not. I enjoy math. I love arithmetic. Give me arithmetic. I love you. But it's just, I know I'm going to retake physics. I don't think advanced. I just took bio. Oh yeah, we already had that complaint about bio 202. And then I just took anatomy. Bio 202 and anatomy are the two courses that kicked my butt. And I have not looked at my grades yet. I'm just not going to look at them for a while, but because they're not going to impact them, I can't do anything about them. So why put myself through that? But it's just, yes. So I'm just like, add to yourself. Do it for your future, or just do it for yourself. Because some things I'm learning because it would look good on the resume, and it would look good if I wanted to get a job. Also, it's just things I want to learn and things that I think would make my life, or just, it opens opportunities. ASL, you never know, you might run into someone who only speaks in ASL. I mean, speaks ASL. But I mean, someone who can only communicate in ASL, and that's a bridge of communication. You open up your experience. If someone only speaks Spanish, you just open up, because these are opportunities you could have missed because you don't have a way of communicating or connecting with that person. But I'm like trying to give myself the skill sets I can to really do. And learn chess, because chess is just a very good way of strategizing, and you learn the critical thinking and planning skills, strategy, like I said. Piano is just really good for the brain. Also, it's just a nice talent to have, skill. You never know when you might have a convenient piano and you're like, my moment to shine, cracks the knuckles. No, my friend's a really good piano player. And I'm here like trying to learn slowly, and then just next door you just hear him. I'm like, okay, you go, Hugo, you go. But anyways, so I'm just saying, I've always had a curiosity, interest to learn as much as possible. So it's not difficult for me to do it. Some things are, the ones that involve commitment, the ones I have more difficulty with. But I'm saying, really take this opportunity and don't be afraid to just really step out of your comfort zone. Learn something new, and it's easier if you do it with friends. So try to get some friends in it with you, rope them in, hold them hostage. But this really make yourselves accountable to each other, so you can do this together. I'm trying to get my friends to learn ASL with me. But just really, if they're not there, don't make your friends stop you from doing it. If they're not gonna do it with you, don't let that stop you. Do it, but if you can, get your friends in it. And that's all I have to say for today. Thank you for tuning in to the newest and long-awaited episode of The Stacks. This is Jay Blue, and I am out. I'm going to play music to the end.